All right, we are live answering your core cover related questions for about the next hour or so. Hope you've all had a great week. I hope you forgive me for missing last week during CES. That was a little bit crazy, but we're great. We're very happy to be back, and we're going to dive into some of the biggest stories from the world of core cutting and answer your core cutting related questions. Now, this is the very last Q&A in this room. Now, we're moving. You may have noticed things are missing back here. Tomorrow morning, this whole setup here, all my computers, everything gets taken apart, boxed up, moved actually to the headquarters for storage during the move. But we're moving. The good news is the new place is going to have a really cool, great setup for the studio. Oop, almost forgot. I still have it plugged in. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. Forgot that if you have this plugged in, it will turn itself off. So, but we're back. Sorry. And there you go. So, yes, last week here in this space, but don't worry, we will be back. I'm not sure about next week on Wednesday because that's the move-in day, but we'll be back with this really cool new studio. Got some big plans. It's going to look really sharp. The lighting's going to be better. Hopefully the sound better setup here just overall where I'll be able to do some cool things, I think. We'll wait. I don't want to promise anything until I get in there and actually do it the way I want, make sure it's set up and working. But we will be here next week again with another core cutting Q&A. It just may be Thursday or so. We'll see. We'll see how this all works out. Azus says he would like an update of the Mohu Striker antenna. I don't really have one. Nothing new to say at this time, but if I hear anything new, I'll let you know. Today is the last day on the current set. This is it in NYC. Bigger and better things to come. If you've followed us for a little while, you know I've talked for some time about desires to have a better studio-like setup here where I could do some cooler interactive more things and have it look a little nicer. So check back. You're probably not going to see it all next week because we're just going to have moved in. But I got plans now. I've kind of put a lot of those on hold once we made the decision to move. And now we're going to be able to actually execute those. Very excited to get in the new home, though. Very, very excited. Much closer to everything. And that's what we're looking forward to. All right, let me share this across social media really quick so that everybody can see it and know we're live on YouTube and come join us. So if you have a question, or you're new here, we do our best to answer your core cutting related questions. Have a question about news, or maybe just a question about some issues you're having in the world of core cutting. We're here to help you get the most from your core cutting experience. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, if you're watching this on repeat on the DVR later. So join us every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube. All right, so there we go. I'm putting it in the last place right now. Hello again from California. It's great to see you. If money was no issue, would the Apple TV 4K be more competitive with the Roku? Well, I think there is a big issue about the Apple TV 4K costing in some models more than double than the Roku Ultra. I think a lot of core cards and NVIDIA Shield faces this too. They just don't want to spend $200 on a streaming player. Heck, you can buy a smart TV for $200 on those Roku TVs. So I think that money always does have to be a consideration when you're looking at why is Roku doing so much better. Just be honest, they're just doing better in sales than the Apple TV, and I really think that Apple's move to add the support for things like Samsung, LG, Vizio, and more is a realization that Apple is not going to dominate this market in the same way they've dominated smartphones, for example. Now, that doesn't mean that Apple can't be a big player. They still are a big player. They're going to do really well with that. They're going to continue to dominate things going forward. But the reality of the situation is Apple just has not been able to dominate TV, let's call it the TV market, in the way they've been able to dominate phones and tablets. So we'll see. Big Raider says, I have the older 4-tuner Tableau DVR. Is the new one worth the update? I would say yes. Two main reasons. Of course, the interior parts of it, the processor, all that's a little bit nicer. The big selling point of the Ford tuner is two things. A, better Wi-Fi. It's got the new 802.11 AC standard. Huge improvement versus the older. I think the older one had N, which N isn't bad, but especially when you want to stream it like 1080p over Wi-Fi, the AC just is a huge step up for that. The other part of that is the fact that it is so much, it's just so much nicer overall to have the internal hard drive. So you have the ability to, instead of buying an external hard drive, you can have the internal one and set that all up there. So keep that in mind. Well, it says, can a cable company charge me more for Wi-Fi if I cancel cable? Yeah, they often try. So here's the down and dirty. You could be a never missing a payment person. And if somebody new comes in, they're going to offer them a better rate than if you try to downgrade. Now, a couple ways around that. Number one, shop around. Even if you want to stick with your cable company, you don't want to switch over to, for example, DSL. Knowing what the DSL providers charge in your area will help you save a ton of money. So my recommendation would be to go in there and say, hey, let's say I'm calling Comcast and AT&T is the other provider. First, call AT&T and say, hey, AT&T, this is where I live. What are you offering me? So know what kind of speeds they're offering, what prices they're offering. Then when you call Comcast, say, hey, Comcast, I'm looking to downgrade to internet only. They're going to quote you the maximum amount because they want you to stay in that bundle because it makes them more money. You say, well, okay, that's great, but your competitor, AT&T, is offering me a far less price for the same speed or similar speed. That's when you get the best deals. When you come in as an informed customer, you don't allow them to boss you around, is when you get the most amount of money. Keep that in mind. Hey, Ben, good to see you there. Thanks for being a subscriber to the YouTube channel. Really appreciate it. Ben asks, will this new Hulu interface be on the live service or the on-demand? Both. So Hulu is redoing their user interface. I got to meet with the new head of Hulu's user interface. Really nice guy. If I remember right, he comes from TiVo. And they're doing a really nice job of setting it up with some changes. One being a traditional grid guide for live TV. But both live and on demand will also have another change where when you're scrolling through content, instead of having like one show per screen as you're scrolling through, you're looking for different ones. It'll be more like a grid guide where there'll just be little tile icons all over the screen of different movies and TV shows. So they're doing a really nice job there setting that up. Here's a question. Heard anything about AT&T Sportsnet coming to cord cutters? No, AT&T has really pushed back against the idea of offering that. They're really one of the last major cable networks not to be available on a live TV streaming service. There's always been rumors that live TV streaming services would someday soon get AT&T Sportsnet, but so far that's not happened. Terry says, I just purchased the Amazon Fire TV Recast DVR. When I do a channel scan, it won't populate out local market locals. I can get them while scanning on the TV. You could have a bad Fire TV. If you followed all the steps correctly, I would contact Amazon tech support. I had no issues. I thought the tuner in the one I have was surprisingly accurate. Duff says, I've been thinking about getting the Air TV 2 player. Do you know if Air TV will release a ATSC 3.0 tuner in the next 6 months? Probably not. No one has announced a 3.0 tuner. Probably won't be into the end of this year, early next year. So no, very, very, very unlikely to happen in the next 6 months. Hey, if you ask a question, I didn't answer it, re-ask it. Because as I'm talking, a lot of questions are flying by. Have you heard of the lifestyle channel called Z Living? No, I have not. See, Comcast added it. Yeah, I've never heard of it. I think Comcast and others are kind of in the idea that we can if we just say we have 5,000 channels, right? If we can just say we have all these channels, then they'll come back from us and walk away from cord cutting. Problem is, a lot of these channels are like Z Living. Most people don't know what they are. John says, I got my Sharp Roku TV for $249. Nice deal. What size was it, John? And do you like it? I've never actually owned a Sharp Roku TV. So let me know what size it was for that price and if you like it. Robert says, Z Living is on Sling. Okay, there we go. So it is on a cord cutting one. Again, it's not a channel I know. But man, there's so many cable networks out there. It's unbelievable. Hey, now that a ton of people have come in, quick reminder, we are giving away an HD home run DVR. Now, this is the brand new all-in-one HD home run with an NVIDIA Shield Gaming Edition, so it also has the game controller, and a 60-mile antenna. So this is like a complete cord cutting kit. Comes with a year of service on the HD home run DVR. Link in the show notes down below to enter. It ends next Monday. Go check out for the giveaway over at corecarsnews.com. Link in the show notes. I mean, heck, what you gotta lose? Free DVR, free NVIDIA Shield to watch it, and an antenna, plus a free year of service. John says that Sharp he got for 200 some bucks was a 50-inch. Wow, that was a really good deal there, John. And he likes it a lot. Glad you like it. I've been very happy with all the Roku TVs I've tested. I think Roku set some minimum standards nowadays that you can't go below that if you and release Roku TV. Ben, yes, you get that icon next to your name because Ben signed up to be a sponsor of our YouTube channel, which you can see down there in the join button. Get a couple things. We'll be doing a live Q&A at the end of the month just for subscribers, and in addition to the weekly regular one. And you get a cool little icon, plus you get the knowledge that you're helping to support Core Cars News. I have 3 streaming services. Is there a way to consolidate the program guide? When you say 3, you mean probably like live Hulu, YouTube TV, and Sling. Not that I know of, to be honest with you. Lon Chaney brought up a great thing. The new free dive, which I first called the free drive. It's dive, free dive. Drive I thought would have been a better name, but they didn't ask me. So it's a brand new free service from Amazon. It takes, let's back up the thing. So it's a free service, ad-supported movies and TV shows because they own IMDb and it's being released under the IMDb name. What I find very funny is that about a few months ago, it was all over the web that Amazon was going to do it. And it was actually, the sources like CNBC had were perfect. It was right on. It was going to happen through the IMDb. All kinds of details were 100% on. Then Amazon came out and said, no, we're not releasing any free service. That's crazy. Remember that? It's like, that's crazy. We would never release a free service. You're just some crazy people on the web, you CNBC people. And then they went ahead and they released it last week. Like, oh yeah, I know we said that was stupid and crazy. We would never do that. But here's that service that you all said we were going to do. So keep that in mind. Yeah. But it's a pretty great one. It's available on all Amazon Prime Video supported devices. You don't need to be a Prime member. You just have to keep scrolling down to find it there. And it's pretty much the same content you'll find on most free services like Crackle, Tubi, Pluto. Not all the same, but you find a selection of stuff there. Mike says, Stir, the new service I tried out. It's not available in Canada yet. It's only available in the United States. It comes from Sinclair. A lot of good content. The great thing about it is it takes a lot of the different content that's currently on different apps. So like Comet has its own Roku channel. Stadium has its own Roku channel. Buzzards on Pluto and Twitch and other stuff. And it takes it all and puts it in one spot. So all that free stuff Sinclair has all in one spot. It's a pretty good deal. Plus, it tries to offer you local news on top of it. Local sports. I noticed it had a bunch of like free high school football games and stuff included in there. Hustlemania says, Luke, anything at CS 2019 caught your eye the most? Some of the cool 5G equipment caught my eye a lot. I was really excited about the progression. I know it's not very hip and cool sounding, but the release of the 3.0 chips, the new 5G tech, basically takes the final step in 5G, where we had some of the equipment, we had some of the services live, but we needed the end user products that can support 5G. And that's what we saw a lot at CES. I was very excited about that we now have the final piece of the 5G puzzle out there, and it's rolling out right now. All right. If I didn't answer your question again, keep it in mind. All right, Dean says, I still wish there was a way to put your antenna channels onto your streaming provider's program guide like Sling TV does with Air TV. There's a few ones that do that out there. Pluto TV and a Roku TV will do that. It will post some of the channels and put it right into the Pluto TV guide. Pretty cool feature. But yeah, it'll be more and more. It'll be nice to do that. How many vendors were showing No, Bob. I don't think anybody was showing any skull caps at CES. MG, no scientific studies have backed that up. I know you can find people on YouTube, but all the studies out there show it's perfectly safe. All right, any word on DirecTV Now and Android TV? No. So, of course, AT&T has released their own streaming player, currently in beta. I have it at the office. That runs Android TV. It runs a skinned version of Android TV with DirecTV Now sitting on top of the OS. So far, no word about DirecTV Now coming to Android TV. They're still beta testing the Xbox app, which has been in beta testing for over a year now. So we'll wait and see what happens. All right, if you have a question, let me know. And since a bunch of people came in here, 2 quick notes. Number 1, don't forget about the giveaway. NVIDIA Shield HD Home Run All-in-One DVR, the brand new one just announced, and an antenna. Link in the show notes into that. Number 2, this is the final Q&A in this office. So we're moving tomorrow, actually, all this. You notice I've already packed up a bunch of the stuff back here. All this is coming apart, boxed up, getting ready to move. So keep an eye out. We'll be in a new place next week. May not do it on Wednesday. That's move-in day. We'll see if internet and everything gets set up in time to do it. But we will be able to move very quickly and set that all up. And be into a new area. And the new office studio area, it's actually a little smaller, which would be good at many things. It's going to be better for sound once I get it all set up. 2, I think it's going to offer me the ability to do some stuff I've talked about to make this more of a studio atmosphere, to offer better videos like this in the future. So keep an eye out. Maybe a little interesting next week, but in the long run, we're very, very excited about the big changes coming to these YouTube videos to offer a much better quality experience for you. Are you able to create different profiles with Sling TV? Somebody remind me, does Sling TV offer profiles? I want to say yes, but we've never messed with them. Chris says the videos from CES seem to have a better picture quality. Did you use a different camera? Actually, it's the same camera I have here. 2 differences. One, the lighting in this room is very poor. So this desk is actually shoved against a wall, and the distance between me, I could touch this camera right now. I could hit it with my hand like that. The new office will allow me to have some depth here, which will offer better lighting. 2, this is not a this is a live stream, and in live stream I'm not able to take full advantage of the capabilities of that camera with it. So that's why when I do a live stream, like if I record it on my phone versus a live stream on my phone, the recorded version always looks better because the camera's uploading this at the same time it's recording it. Richard said, on the 5G units that were available from CS, did the D-Link or Samsung ones have external antenna hookups? The D-Link one had, just like the Netgears or whatever, they had the 3 different standard size antennas that stuck out of it. The Samsung one was one of those all-in-one where the antennas wrapped up inside the device. So it really is, there's both of them were there invisible. Chris, hi, is there any solutions to integrate OTA channels with DirecTV Now in a sync or grid guide? Not at this time. Hopefully they add that soon. We'll wait and see what happens. MG, here's my non-core question we'll take of the day. I'm in the market for a new computer chair for a new chair for his computer. I don't like the small computer chairs. Any suggestions? Well, this is actually, I got this at Office Max, Office Depot. I guess they're the same company now. It's a Searly, however you say it, the company that makes the beds, the mattresses, Searly. Unbelievably comfortable. Now, I got lucky in a I've had this over a year now. I think it was a pre-Christmas sale, and it was on sale for $150. Now, usually I only like to spend like $100 on a chair like this, but man, the extra $50 on this thing, those Searly chairs, Searly, however you say it. Somebody tell me, am I saying that right? Man, for an extra $50 on $150 is worth it. Now, of course, I sit in front of a computer on a desk all day for work, so I was willing to pay a little bit more to have my rear end be a little bit more comfortable, I guess we'll say. But yeah, so I would say those Deep Office Max, wherever you have in your area, I think they're all Office Maxes now. The Searly, however you say it. What's your recommendation for somebody who wants to start video casting? Don't worry about the camera right now as much as, just start using your phone. Most iPhones, most Android phones are more than enough quality. Start making content. Any word in Layer 3 will do away with the box for Roku app? No. So Layer 3, no, I don't expect anything to change to Layer 3 anytime soon. Does the TiVo Boat OTA streaming player stream any app live? It seems no Sling or Hulu or DirecTV Now. Okay, Greg, I think I understand. Yes, TiVo does not have any live TV streaming services. I talked to TiVo about that last week. I met with TiVo, got to see some of their new stuff, like their new Roku apps and so forth. What TiVo said is the problem they have is TiVo runs on Linux. And Sling and DirecTV Now, all of them don't have a native Linux app. If you want to watch it on Linux, you have to use like a web browser, like Firefox, for example, to stream it. So at this time, no. And I don't expect them, to be honest with you, to come out on it. Especially since TiVo's moving the Tableau route, where you'll be able to take your TiVo and stream it to your Roku, stream it to your Fire TV, Apple TV. I'm sure they're just saying, hey, just use a Roku and then watch it, your TiVo streaming through there to your Roku. One thing they hinted at and they couldn't answer. I asked them, will I be able to take my Roku on the road and access my TiVo through my Roku in a hotel room? I weren't able to answer that, but they didn't say no. So hopefully they will be able to do that. What's up with local NBC locals on YouTube and DirecTV Now? Well, most NBC locals are on DirecTV Now and on YouTube TV. If your local one's not, contact them. Let them know you like them to be on it. Any word on when Roku will be rolling out 9.0 for Roku TVs? Any day now, they said early this year. Can you elaborate on Sling TV showing up on Roku search results? Will live TV apps ever show their content on Roku search? Could happen. Very well could happen. I think it's a little harder to differentiate that because some of it's live, some of it's on demand. That may be confusing the search engine, but this time it's not, hopefully soon. Since Netflix is raising their costs, is that what's the effect on cord cutters? Not much. I mean, you think about like DirecTV Now, Comcast, Charter, Spectrum, Cox, all those places, I think pretty much all of them are raising the price this month or next month. And the price fluctuates when you add in all the fees and taxes, anywhere from $5 to $10 more a month. So Netflix went up $2. The cheapest cable price hikes for most cable subscribers would be $5 to $10 once you add in things like fees, taxes, device rentals, and more. I mean, heck, some Comcast packages now start out like almost $250 a month. Just starting there, so keep that in mind. I assume MLB will continue to black out local area live games. MLB is actually in negotiations right now. They're renegotiating all their streaming deals. They have no streaming deals. They have about a little under a month now until pitchers and catchers report. So they're busy negotiating. And one of the things they're negotiating over reportedly is the fact that they want in-market streaming, preferably through the MLB at Bat app. At this time, though, that's all in negotiations. They may get it, they may not. They seem to be really pushing for it, though. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yes, hopefully this will be the year that MLB will offer in-market streaming on services like MLB at Bat. We'll wait and see what happens. Tim, you are right. Google finally seems like they haven't given up on YouTube TV. Last week I was able to meet with the new head of YouTube TV. We had a very direct conversation. I brought up a couple big issues. Of one being the fact that many app developers, I even brought up the fact that Hulu's former head of their app said, hey, the market share on YouTube TV is just too small for us to dedicate time to. I brought that to her and she was like, yeah, well, a year ago I would have agreed. But she went on to say, we're a lot bigger now than we used to be. The other thing I brought up was the fact that there's a big variance. So between a low-end Android TV device and a high-end one. And I talked about how the low-end ones aren't necessarily offering the best experience, and she agreed. And she said Google will be offering a minimum set of standards if you want to run Android TV, which is something Android phones already have. If you want to be an Android phone, you have to meet certain minimum standards. So we're definitely moving in that direction in the world. Tech Hive, I believe, also interviewed Jared Newman and learned that they intend to roll out a new user interface. So really nice setup there. I think Google's doing the right things. I'll be very interested to see what happens next. All right, Jimmy says those new 8 series 8K TCL Roku TVs look sweet. Their jump to quantum dot is a bigger leap for them. I think in the near future, any TV worth owning will be quantum dots or OLEDs. Yeah, I was able to see at CES. I have a link. I have a video here on YouTube if you want to check that out. But yes, we are we were able to see the new 8K 8 series Roku TVs. There'll also be a 4K version of the 8 series. Huge improvement. Huge improvement. That just absolutely just noticeable. There's a noticeable difference when you get the 75-inch QLED, all that kind of stuff. So very excited to see that happen. Hopefully get my hands on it. Arrow says, Luke, could you do monthly articles on Core Cars News on new Android TV apps like you do for Roku for our TV? I can't find any other source of that info. We will try. I think the main reason why we haven't been doing monthly Android TV, what's new, is there hasn't been a lot new on Android TV in the past. Now, like I said, we met with the head of Android TV, and they said they're making that one of their main objectives, to bring more apps to Android TV. So as that happens, we'll definitely be doing more, and we'll probably be rolling out some Android TV top 10 free ones soon. Peter says, Luke, since you have been a cord cutter over time, how does internet-only pricing seem to you? Do you have this pricing going forward with more cord cutting? How do you see this pricing going forward with more cord cutting? Well, 2 tips. What I see is internet's not nearly expensive as I think a lot of people make out to be. You do have to do a little footwork to get cheap deals on home internet, though. One of the things I'll recommend is always know what the competitor offers. So anytime your rate goes up and you can say, hey, well, that's great, Comcast, but CenturyLink or AT&T's offer me this. Can you match it? More often than not, they will. If they don't, then it comes the problem of, hey, maybe I'll switch. And every few years when I can't get the deal I want, I just switch. So just keep that in mind. You have to be willing to pull that trigger and switch. But that always gives me the best deal, I find. Dean says, how about doing a top 10 Apple TV apps? I actually have done several top 10 Apple TV apps. If you check out the channel, it's been a little while. Some of that's time and viewers. They just don't get as many viewers. I mean, and if you think about it, you look at our polls, 70% of our readers are Roku users, 40% of them are Fire TV, and like 15, 16, I forget what it was, Apple TV. What's the 15? I think it's like 20 something now. We'll do more ones out there about the Apple TV, and we'll do more about Android TV. One of the big things here is with this move is having a nicer studio once we get, so we're moving my home where I am right now, and then we're going to be moving the office. And I talked about this in the Q&A and the look forward for 2019 Core Cars News. Core Cars News is moving into a bigger office is our goal next month. And the goal behind that is so that we would have more room. This current studio is very cramped, and it means setting up one type of shoot means I have to take apart another part of the studio, move everything around, and do it. What's a lot nicer than when I did everything out of this room, Core Cars News for quite some time, everything happened. All the videos, all the writing, everything happened in this one room. Now we actually have a studio, an office, and that's going to be expanding very soon. Ben asks, is the Apple TV 4K more powerful than the Roku Ultra? Yes, in some regards, and no in others. It's kind of one of those fun things. Apple likes to promote the parts of them that they are. For instance, they smash in the fact that their video chip is much more powerful than the Roku. The downside of that is the reality is, streaming Netflix in HD or 4K doesn't even touch a tenth of the power that chip can do. That chip is really meant for gaming. It's really meant to be a gaming device chip. So if you're not gaming, though, it doesn't really matter. The processors on them too are very nice, especially when you look at the fourth gen Apple TV. The Roku Ultra is actually more powerful. Is there a significant advantage to using a Roku or a Fire TV stick over a PlayStation 4 for cord cutting? PlayStation 4 is not bad, but Roku and Fire TV do have way more apps, way more streaming services. Not even close. What do you think of Sling TV being free? Well, it's not really free. Sling TV is offering some free on-demand content if you're not a subscriber, but the cable channels, and this confuses a lot of people, are still for pay. How big is the difference between a standalone Roku versus an onboard Roku? Does the standalone turn on an internet feed into HD? Yeah, so the difference between a Roku TV and a Roku player really isn't. The high-end Roku TVs are like a Roku Ultra. The standard Roku players are like a Roku Stick Plus. So back in the day when Roku TVs first came out, they weren't nearly as powerful as a Roku Ultra or the Roku 4, whatever it was at the time. Now, though, that's changed. And honestly, the difference between a Roku TV and a Roku player, there's really none. Roku TVs actually have some features that the Roku players don't have, which is pretty cool. But here's the reality. A Roku player is under $100. A Roku TV is several hundred. If you're happy with the TV you have, just go buy a Roku Ultra or a Roku Stick. If you need a new TV, yeah, I mean, Roku TV is a great option. Okay. Mark says, I can't find Stir on Roku. Where can I access it? I'm not sure it's live yet. They announced it as coming to the Roku or as being live on the Roku, but I don't think it was live. It's currently on their website and more, so keep that in mind. Mule asks, what is VidGo? VidGo is a new live TV streaming service rolling out, currently offering international channels. They are beta testing an English package to take on things like Sling TV, DirecTV Now, and more. So keep an eye out for VidGo here soon. They're now live on the Fire TV. Luke, what do you see the new features being added to the next generation Rokus? At this time, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait until the fall to really figure that out. Right now, I think Roku's really focusing on the fact that their new beefed up line of Roku TVs was announced. Some new partners like Westinghouse joining Roku and releasing Roku TVs under the Westinghouse brand. And the new 8K 8 series high-end flagship TV. The new 75-inch Roku TVs. I know a lot of people have said they wanted 75-inch Roku TVs. Well, now you're going to be able to do that with Roku. So look for that to be the main focus. And then probably in the fall is when we'll get the next generation of streaming players. What that will look like, I just don't know. Scott asks, is HD TV coming to YouTube TV? We just don't know. They haven't at all hinted or suggested that will be happening. Is this the year 3.0 over there? TV is going to happen. We'll probably learn a lot more about maybe at the NAB National Association Broadcaster Show in April. I will be there, so keep an eye out for that. But probably not until next year when we really start seeing it take off. Will there be a day when Roku does not make set-top boxes? Probably. Eventually, all TVs will probably have a Roku Fire TV, something like that built in. Not anytime soon. Richard says, saw TCL was coming out with a soundbar. What about Roku? Well, TCL has it. It's going to work with the Roku Assist, I think. Roku also has their own sound system. I won't be surprised if Roku comes out with more also. Luke, how would you know if you have the full version of Google Play Store on an Android box? If it's an Android TV box, you have the Android TV version. If you have one of those cheap Android boxes, it's the Google Play version, which it means your apps are meant for tablets, not for a streaming player. Any 5G news? No, nothing new. Just a lot of hardware announced last week, which I showed off. Hey, question for everybody. Now we got a good amount of people here. Last week at CES, you saw I did a bunch of almost like vlogs, like daily, like here's what I'm seeing in the show floor videos, where I brought you all over the place. And it's the first time I really did anything like that. I think from day one to the end, I think we learned a lot, like how to shoot those a little bit better and how to edit them. I'd love to know what you thought. Did you enjoy those videos where I kind of went through the show floors and showed you the different products and kind of gave you a snippet of what it's like being at CES and do some booth tours? What do you think of that? I got a couple more trade shows coming up here that I'll be doing soon, and I want to know what you thought. So leave me a comment. Let me know. Did you like that? Was that interesting to you? And would you like us to do that in the future as we go to CES and other conventions like CES? So leave me a comment. Luke, what's the Apple TV service coming to Samsung TV about, well, yeah, so Apple's bringing the AirPlay and other stuff to made TVs out there, basically, so their new streaming service coming out later on this year will be able to be played on more devices than just the Apple TV. Hopefully they come out to like Roku, Fire TVs, and more. We'll wait and see what happens. But for now, we're just waiting to see what Apple announces for their Netflix-esque competitor. Mike, you never saw our CES coverage? Well, you should click on the Core Cars News channel and go back a couple videos and take a look at all the CES vlogs. Richard says he likes the CES videos, just wishes they were longer. You know, some of that was just a time limitation because I couldn't record the meetings I have with people, like when I sat down with TiVo or sat down with Google or Roku or TCL and all those other people. But I was able to shoot as I watched around the show floor. And a lot of stuff at CES is not even remotely cord cutting. And I worked in some of the not cord cutting related stuff. When I did those little clips when I was just bouncing around the show floor, just wanted to kind of show you some of the other cool things I saw at CES. But yeah, I would like them to be longer. Time was a concern, and I have some additional content I may try to edit together into like a collection of CS stuff. We'll see. But yeah, so people like those. Any suggestions other than being longer? It's something I've never done before. I definitely learned. The first video I did to the last video I did at CES, I think we learned a lot, and we'll take that information and, as they always say, be a little bit better tomorrow than I was today. So we'll keep going. Mike, Twit.tv did in the past. I ran into some of the Twit guys. Didn't get to talk to them, but they were at the same events I was at. Very nice to see them there. Luke, when you do a show, please be in the shot. It puts you in personal touch on the event. Now, I was in some of them, John. I tried to do a little thing like this where I'm in it, and then I would kind of bring you around and show you. The problem with that, John, is for instance, I wanted to get my wife to come and be in some of these events so she could be the camera person where I could have been in front of it. And actually, CS has cracked down on many of these events press, and because my wife didn't have any bylines, I wasn't able to get her a press pass to come in. So I had no camera person. I wasn't the only one. I talked to several people that their camera people were denied access this year because they were cracking down on it. So keep an eye on it. That we'll be looking at in the future. And I like I said, whenever you saw me in front of the camera, it was me holding the camera right here like this, and I was talking to it. So I had the camera, and I was talking in the camera with my arm like that. So it worked out pretty well. But we're definitely, in the future, we're going to have some different things that we're going to try to improve that, make it better. Will rise in streaming prices make people return to cable? Netflix went up $2. Cable went up $5 to $10 this month. Netflix costs $13. The average cost of cable is like $150. You tell me, which is cheaper, $2 price increase or a $5 to $10 price increase? To me, there's no even argument about this. All right, more short videos are better than long ones. Okay, interesting. MG, can you replace an engine on a TV for a better one? I'm sure if you really know what you were doing, but in reality, it would be just far cheaper nowadays to buy a new TV and then sell your current one. Can you do? You'd have to pry my Roku for my dead cold fingers, so I'm glad you like your Roku. Any news on the Disney app? Nothing new. We're still looking at late this year for when Disney will launch their new streaming service. NYC, it would be nice to have some subtitles. So that kind of comes down to a time issue, and with it just being me at CES to sit down and be able to physically type out each video just wasn't something I do. I find CES or YouTube does better over time improving the subtitles. So hopefully they do that again. Luke, any new OTA antennas or at CES? No, not really. Antennas were not big this year. I think everybody's kind of just waiting for 3.0 to happen before they launch any more video or any more antennas and that kind of stuff. All right, if I didn't answer your question, keep asking. Art says, well, internet prices are going up. So are cable TV, but even faster. Fees and taxes. Heck, some cable places are charging like $12 a month now to rent a DVR. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, don't forget that thumbs up, folks, on the video. Helps me. Honestly, if you ever have a YouTuber you really, really like them, you think they're doing a good job, give them a thumbs up whenever you can, because YouTube really does track that thumbs up to views ratio, and the more people who give thumbs up, the more that the video gets seen. So if you ever want to help a YouTuber you like, don't just flood this video, hit them. Same with Facebook and Twitter. Like, thumbs up, whatever they do there, heart it, and it really does help them. Any T-Mobile TV news? No T-Mobile TV news, unfortunately. Hopefully soon we'll be learning more. They did say that T-Mobile TV will come out before their 5G service, but we'll see what that means. Before their home-based 5G service. Yeah, Art, last year, Spectrum raised their TV prices twice in 1 year. And even when they promise you that they won't raise your price, what they do is they keep the package you paid for the same, but all the fees and taxes go up. This is super slow upload speed on a local network affected. So your Wi-Fi network inside your home, no, but a slow upload speed from your internet provider will mean streaming it from your home to your phone and a tablet on the road could be affected by that, yes. What happened to you during a review, doing a review of your Vegas hotel room? I didn't do one. I actually stayed at Mandalay Bay, which I reviewed the year before, and just didn't do the one this year. So it's the same, basically the same exact room I had last time. What did I do with my old cable TV remotes? I returned them when I returned the cable boxes back like years and years and years ago. And here's another thing with people like, oh, Corcon will be even cheaper. Many studies have shown the vast majority of cable subscribers also have at least one, if not two or more streaming services. They may have Netflix because they want all like Stranger Things, and they may have Hulu for like House of Cards. Most people have Amazon because they want the free shipping, and the shows are alike. So even if you cancel and go back to cable, ask yourself this. Would you give up your Stranger Things, your House of Cards, your Orange is the New Black? For me, Last Chance You. What about Hot and Handmaid's Tale, the new Tom Clancy show? Would you be able to give up 100% of all your streaming services? If not, that's just one more expense on top of that $150 cable bill. Can the Air TV 2 player support 3 Roku streaming? The Air TV 2 can stream out to multiple Rokus? I think 2 at once. I think. All right, hey, I got about 10 minutes, so get your questions in. If I haven't answered them, real quick, don't forget that we're giving away an HD Home Run all-in-one DVR, subscription to HD Home Run DVR service, an NVIDIA Shield, and a 60-mile antenna. Link in the show notes if you want to enter for that giveaway. Ends in less than a week. 2, I'm going to quickly hit play on an ad because I got to pay for things like trips to CES. Helps us real quick, 30-second ad. Hang in there with me. For everybody who's not seeing that ad, real quick, don't forget, this is the final show in this space. So take a picture because I won't be in this room ever again on a Wednesday at least Q&A. Maybe pre-record the weekend recap tomorrow before I pack this up. We'll see. But we will be continuing to do our due diligence. We got big plans as we move into my new home and then the new office next month. That bigger and better things, are coming here. So hang in there with me as we move forward. Next week, maybe on a different day because of the move happening next week. So keep that in mind. John says, what's the big difference between the Roku Ultra and the Streaming Stick 4K? The Streaming Stick 4K is slightly less power, does not have a built-in Ethernet, and doesn't come with earbuds. The Roku Ultra is slightly more powerful, does include Ethernet option, and comes with JBL earbuds. Past that, really nothing. Can the Black Air TV run on the second line of my Greg, I'm really not sure about that, to be honest with you. You could try, won't hurt. Isaac, thank you for that $2 donation. It doesn't sound like much, but it really helps keep this all going. What do I think? What type of antennas do I recommend? Well, I'll recommend a couple brands here: Mohu antennas, Antennas Direct, RCA antennas, Winegard antennas. Are all really great brands. There's another one I'm completely blanking out. So Antenna Direct, Mohu, antenna or Winegard, and RCA antennas, and one other brand. Do your research. Make sure you know how far away you are from the towers. Get an antenna that fits it. Because if you live in an area where you're right next to the towers, heck, a paperclip if you're a mile away will work. But, better quality antennas will reach out farther. So make sure you know what you need. I'm excited because we're moving closer to the transmitter. So we're going to be much closer to the over-there TV signals. I'll be able to pick up more ones. And actually, just this month, 4 new channels popped up in the over-there network. I'm very excited that they're there. Will HBO be coming back to Sling TV? Not that I've heard of. Don't hold your breath about it. The hard part of cord cutting is dealing with the cable company. They'll do anything to keep you. Yep, don't trust the cable company. They will say and do anything to get you to come back, and so you spend more money. What's the best soundbar? I'm really not a soundbar person. I will say, though, if you have a Roku TV, getting the Roku sound speakers is a good one. If I give me $200, what streaming player would I buy? I would probably just get another Roku Ultra. I really love how the fact that my young 6-year-old daughter now can do it. My parents can use it. It's just such a simple one. It has so many services. So check that out. All right, so last call for questions. Let me know. Mohu Clearstream antennas also yeah, Mohu Clearstream. There's another one. No matter how. I mean, here's the reality. When asking this service goes up in price, that service goes up in price, then the reality is they're always big competitor. With cable, there's always been maybe 2 or 3 options to pick from, right? First it was cable, and then satellite came in, and then later things like U-verse TV and so forth. Now there's like 20 some live TV services. So if somebody keeps raising the price, somebody will always go down. So we'll keep an eye on it. Richard said, I just got a TCL launch party notification. Yeah, I was at the TCL audio one. They got earbuds and all kinds of stuff now. It's pretty nice. They're getting into the headphone market. What do you think about, and I actually got a bunch of TCL earbuds they were giving away. What do you think about Amazon's new streaming service? The Free Dive it's a nice ad-supported service. It's on pretty much every device that has an Amazon app. You just kind of have to keep digging in the Amazon Prime Video app. A lot of the content is exactly what we find on the Roku channel, Fubo, or Pluto TV, Xzoom, or Zoom, or all those ones. Crackle and Tubi. That's the one. You'll find all that stuff. It's not a lot of original content that other places don't have. It's a good step in the right direction there. Is Spectrum Mobile good? I believe Spectrum Mobile is just reselling Comcast. I know Comcast, or it's reselling Comcast, reselling Verizon. I know Comcast is just reselling Verizon. So you're just dealing with them. Do you think Netflix will add live channels in the future? They've pretty much said they have no interest in that. Jonathan says, it seems like the tuner in my old 1080p TV has gone out. Any recommendations are to go around that? I would get something like a Tablo DVR, which will stream to your Roku or Fire TV, Apple TV you have on that TV. And then you also get a DVR. Is there any Roku skills for Echo devices coming? I didn't say that A word. I caught myself. There are some workarounds, some third-party ones. If you Google and Roku, then that A word from Amazon. So I don't click off on everybody's TV. So, yep. Check that out. Can you recommend any websites to visit to get information regarding streaming TV? CordCuttersNews.com. CordCuttersNews.com. Right across the top, we have all types of bars on like beginner's guide to cord cutting with like how find cable networks, guide to watching sports, cord cutting, etc. Yeah, MG, you live in one of the prime areas. You get 176 channels with 30 miles from Los Angeles. Yep, Los Angeles, New York, those big towns I get like 30 some now with the new additions. Some I could care less about, but there's a lot of good over there TV. All right, everybody, I'm gonna wrap this up. I gotta take this all apart. People are coming tomorrow, so next week, watch the notifications on the YouTube channel for a new date and time. I'll probably try to do this Thursday, maybe Friday, because we're moving into the new home. Very, very excited. Never intended to really live here long. When you're a military family, you're always moving. We're actually moving just down the road a little bit, closer to the new office, closer to our church, closer to my daughter's school. Very, very excited about that. Very excited about the new studio space I'll have there. It'll allow a much nicer setup there. So, hey, hang in here with me as we deal with next week being a little screwy, because I think the long-term results of that will be a much better, much improved experience, better image quality, better lighting, better backdrop with some cool stuff in it. We'll wait and see. So hang in there with me. I will try to do a show next week. It just may not be on Wednesday. So thanks for your support. I really appreciate it. The thumbs up, the people who come here every week. I just can't tell you how much it means to me. Without all you, this doesn't mean anything. So don't forget, check out that giveaway. It's a great way for us to say thank you to you. Thank you to HD Home Run for donating some of the stuff, and NVIDIA too with the NVIDIA Shield. We'll see you next week right here. Hopefully Wednesday, if not Thursday or Friday. Take care, everybody.